Hey there, it's your boy Matt from Music Producer School. Thanks for joining me. I am coming to you today from my home studio, and today we're going to be doing home recording part 2. So I'm on my wireless microphone so I can kind of take you guys and girls on a little tour of my home studio and show you basically what I'm using day to day to produce, to record artists. Like I said, I don't mention it to boast or anything, but I have produced multiple songs that have been on the radio and the charts. And I would say about 90% of those songs, ironically, were produced in either this home studio or my other home studio. So, but I've worked in numerous super nice studios all over the world. And I don't know why that is, but my best successes have come from the home studio. I don't know. A lot of people say they are more comfortable working in a home studio because you're not paying by the hour. There may be something to that. So we're going to get started in just a moment. Don't forget, in the comments, I put to join the Music Producer School community. If you haven't done that already, click that link. I will approve you to join. And on Saturday after classes, I go there. You post your tracks. I listen, and I try and give you some helpful feedback on everything from mixing, mastering, production, vocals, samples, the whole deal. So be sure to join that. Also, if you want to follow us on our other social platforms, you can catch us at that Linktree link. That's got everything you're going to need on there. And also, we have a feature called Chat with Matt, where you can talk directly to me. Just click that interview link. It will ask to use your phone camera and microphone, or you can be on a tablet or a desktop computer or a laptop. Doesn't matter which device you're on. If you want to call in right here live with me, you can ask me your questions directly that way. So click that link. I'll put you in the green room, and I'll punch you through if you want to give me a call and ask me a question. Also, be sure to hit share on the stream, and if you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the comments, or you can always send me a DM at Music Producer School. So, as I said in the class a couple days ago, I wanted to take you guys and girls on a little tour of my fairly humble home studio here. But like I said, it's managed to get the job done for quite some time now. So I thought it would be fun to show you guys and girls exactly what I am using to achieve the things I have achieved. Because I know we have a lot of people starting out, and they're kind of wondering what, do I need or what should I use when it comes to producing. So I guess I'll start with kind of the bare bones of it. So let me grab my camera here, and I'm gonna kind of narrate through. I'll give you guys just a brief kind of overview, and let me kind of zoom out here a little bit if I can. All right. We're zoomed out all the way. So this is my desk right here that I work at. Nothing special. You can see I'm on this monitor right here, but I'm actually doing everything on. This is a 2015 MacBook Pro. Of course, it was the best thing ever when I first got it, but now that's already going on 6 years old. Hard to believe that happened that quickly. But everything I do, literally, video editing, music production, everything happens on this MacBook right here. And I just have it going to this external monitor right here. The interface that I use is this UAD Apollo Twin. I can't say enough good things about this interface. It was definitely not the cheapest one to buy, but it's a 2-channel interface, meaning you can plug in 2 microphone inputs on it. It also has a couple extra digital inputs, which I used to use back in the day when I needed that. I really, really love this Apollo interface. I can't recommend it enough if you can afford to get one. Um, this microphone is the one I was talking about a couple days ago in class. This is the blue um, Yeti microphone, which I'm typically talking with all you on. When I'm hosting these classes, I'll use as my main mic for that. The speakers that I'm using, I use two sets of speakers to mix. I use the KRK Rocket 8s when I am doing probably 95% of my work, because they're not super bright, and they have, because it's an 8-inch speaker, the bass is pretty good on them. So I like to use that. I also, down here, I have the subwoofer that goes with them. I honestly don't use the subwoofer a whole lot, but when I have clients come over, they do like to hear it, the bass booming, so it's usually more just for the clients. This is the other pair of monitors that I use, called Atom A7s. I really like these monitors, probably mostly just because I've been using them for so long, and I know what they sound like, but overall I'm pretty happy with them. I really like those as well. So another important piece of gear, which you might not expect in my studio, is this little thing. This is a timer. So if I am working on something, and like I tell you guys, I always talk about working quickly in the studio. So what I'll do often is, if I know I have to edit or mix something, I could sit here for hours and do it. But what I'll do is I'll actually set this timer right here, like to about, say, like 30 minutes. And I'll just let that run, and it's a nice visual timer, to where when I see it runs out, or I kind of visually, without having to think, I can just see, okay, I've been working for about almost 30 minutes. It's time to give my ears a break. So I really like that. Of course, my coffee cup and my teacup can't not do without that. Hey, what's up? 51 News, they term Borvabus. They term Borvabus. Borvabus, 51 News. Thank you. I'm reading your comment right now. Oh, thank you. I appreciate for doing the badges. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, so let's keep the tour going. So if you guys are just starting out, of course you're going to need a computer. You can still produce without a computer, but it's just for the money. You can get yourself a decent laptop these days, or even an iPad or a tablet for a pretty decent price, and you can just do so much with a computer these days. So I would recommend that. You need an interface to plug your mic into, or if, like I said, you have the blue Yeti mic, which is just, you can see the USB cable there. It's kind of an interface and a microphone all in one. So you can get started literally with just this microphone and just a computer, and maybe a pair of headphones. So some of you guys the other day were asking me about headphones. These are the headphones that I usually use. These are the DT 770s by Beyerdynamic. Those are the ones I've been using for years, and I'll open these up for you real quick. And you can see they're getting a little bit funky, but that's because I've been using them for many, many years. So let me give y'all another quick little overview here. So I have the Ableton Push 2, which I honestly don't use all that much, but it is fun to play on every once in a while, so I keep it around. I'll probably get back to using it again eventually. I just haven't had a lot of time to do that type of work lately, but it is fun. Definitely not necessary though. This is the keyboard that I use, the Akai MPK 49. I really like this keyboard because it has the pads, which I honestly don't really use the pads that much, but the keys are nice enough. It has the pitch wheel and the modulation wheel there, and it also has those rotary encoders, and it has the sliders, the faders, so that way I can actually I can sync that up to Ableton, and I can actually use it with Ableton to control like plugins and stuff like that. So I definitely like it. I used to have a bunch of keyboards, and I just kind of learned some tricks along the way that basically showed me you don't really need a bunch of different keyboards. There's just so many sounds that we can get in the computer with plugins these days. If you know how to manipulate the sounds, that's really kind of all you need. Keyboards are fun, but I just had too much gear, and that's the funny thing about this. The stuff I'm showing you guys today, this is probably not even half of the gear that I used to use. So I'm trying to prevent you guys from becoming gear hoarders like I used to be. So keeping it moving here, that's my keyboard that I use. This is the microphone that I use for pretty much everything. This is the Shure SM7B. I think I was showing it off a couple days ago online. I have one of my guitars back there, of course. Well, it looks like a couple guitars back there. But this microphone I can't also recommend enough. I've been able to record all kinds of records on this microphone. It works great on guitars. It works great on everything. So if I could only buy one microphone, I would buy this microphone right here. I think it runs about $300 or $350 US, but I really, really love that microphone. So this is kind of my little live streaming station when I like to do little live streams, playing some music every once in a while. But that's the microphone that I use for pretty much everything. So I can't recommend the SM7B enough. I mean, it's just been a great, great microphone to use. So let me take y'all around. This I had showed off. This keyboard down here is one of these little Casio keyboards that runs on batteries, but I like it because I don't need to hook it up to a computer. It's actually pretty nifty to have one of these laying around. You don't need to have it hooked into a computer to get any sound. So if I'm tuning vocals or I just want to figure out a quick melody idea, I can just turn this thing on and just hit some keys and it's ready to rock. So it's a pretty nice little thing to have laying around. So continuing on, this is my record player that I keep close just for listening to music sometimes, but also if I'm doing a sampled beat, I like to have a record player close by so I can do that. You see I have some of my records down here. Moving on over here, this is the PreSonus interface that I use for basically larger mixing needs. So if I'm recording drums, I can run, this is actually a 32 input interface that goes into the computer. So I can record up to 32 channels at once with this thing, which is super nice. So it's called the PreSonus Studio Live. This is the RM32, and I really love this thing. I actually up here, this is a set of splitters so that when my band goes out to play, we can mix our own headphones and then just let the live sound company take the split, and they can do whatever they want on the front of the house. So moving on, this is kind of like my little guitar station over here. Of course, we got to have a picture of Mr. Jimi Hendrix, always inspiring. And I have, as you can see, numerous guitars. I am a guitar player by trade, so I still do a good bit of that. I have my effects pedals here, which I almost got rid of earlier in the year, but I'm glad I hung on to them because these effects pedals, especially the analog ones like this, they are they just do have kind of a magical little sound to them, but there are a lot of tricks in the computer. I'm going to show you guys. That's what I was going to say also about with the keyboard thing. Once I learned some of these tricks with how to manipulate the sound in keyboards and really in anything, it made it a lot more clear to me why you can do a lot of things even with just some of these guitar amp simulators, because distortion is kind of the main key and the main trick, and I'm going to cover more of that later on. So you could emulate everything that's going on with these pedals pretty easily with some nice plugins in the computer. As you can see back here, I have my two guitar amps. I like to have two separate amps laying around because that way I can get two separate sounds going whenever I'm layering guitar parts, and like I've told y'all before, it's really all about kind of getting some opposing sounds, some things that don't sound like they're coming from the same place, to really give you that separation in your mixes. And a lot of that has to do with EQ, filters, and distortion, and we're going to cover more of that very soon. So that's kind of my guitar little workstation over here that I use when I'm doing guitars. Back here, I have kind of some of my cases, some of my video and photo equipment. I think I actually have some lighting hanging out back there behind the guitars. And then I'll just show y'all briefly over here. This is in my living room. In my living room over here, I have my drum kit set up, and I have a nice big live room out here. You can see the floor is it's a hard tile, so the floor is pretty lively and bouncy. I have wood panels on the wall here, so that kind of achieves basically a nice lively drum sound. And my house happens to be very big in the living room area, and it's very long, so I'm able to get some really nice drum sounds in here without having to go through a whole lot of fuss. But that's sorry, unplug. All right, sorry, unplugged my camera there. So that's pretty much the gist of what I have going on here. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys. Hey, Manuel, thanks for saying hello. So that's pretty much it for my home studio. I mean, I just kind of wanted to show you guys that you don't really need a whole lot of stuff to achieve some really good results. One other thing I'd like to show y'all really quickly, I'm pretty big on whiteboards. So you can see here, I have my whiteboard set up with, kind of things to do, but I also have this other thing I wanted to show y'all, which this is called, I haven't put this out yet for release, but this is called the producer whiteboard. So this basically comes just like this, and I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see, but you have a section for the song title. So what you would do is you would list, if you're making a record, you would list all of your songs over here, and then you have all the different parts. So like the writing, the arranging, then you would record your drums, your bass, your guitars, keys, background vocal, lead vocal. Then you would do your editing, your tuning, your mixing, and your mastering. And basically, you can kind of put the name of the project at the top, and it kind of gives you a way to keep track on each song. And this is especially, well, it really works for every song, not just live stuff. So when you're writing, you have your song title, you write your lyrics, you do your arrangement, and then you can kind of break up every part of the song into these little boxes. And as you finish the song, the parts, you just kind of cross out the box. And it's a good way, especially if you're working on a whole album, to kind of keep track of your progress. So I use that with other artists whenever I'm working on records for them. I will kind of, I'll put the name of the record in there, and I'll keep track of things that way. So that's pretty much it for my home studio. If any of you guys have any questions about, again, like gear related stuff, like I said, I've had a ton of gear over the years, too much gear, and I've kind of downsized, which there are a couple things even now that I could probably get rid of if I had to. But this is kind of the minimum stuff that I need to get the job done. And, you know, that's the great thing about with computers these days. If you get yourself a decent computer and you get a DAW that you like, just stick with it and learn to use it, because nowadays it doesn't matter which DAW you use. Anything you use is going to be able to get the job done. You just have to learn it so that you can learn what you're doing with this stuff. So I'm going to keep this one short today, you guys. I just wanted to, hey, what's up, DL? Thanks for saying hey. I'm going to keep it short today because I just wanted to kind of take y'all on a tour of, like I said, my very modest home studio. Nothing really crazy going on in here, but it definitely gets the job done. So what I'm going to do on Saturday is I'm going to come back and I'm going to kind of expand on some of these ideas and tricks that I talked about. So for example, with my keyboard, I used to have the big old Phantom keyboard. I used to have a bunch of separate analog synthesizers in my home studio, and I wound up getting rid of those because of some of these tricks that I learned just along the way, working with some other great producers, and, you know, just trying to learn more and more about how these sounds are made and why is it that, you know, an analog keyboard sounds better than a VST plugin or a synthesizer plugin. And I'm pretty sure I've found the answer because I do it all the time. So I'm going to come back Saturday, and I'm going to show you guys and girls some of these tricks that I use to basically take this minimal amount of equipment that I have, and I'm going to show you with some plugins and nothing crazy, but just some little tricks and tips that are going to help you. Really, it's about getting that definition and that clarity in your mixes that EQ alone is not really going to cut it. So I'm going to come back Saturday and show you guys some of that. So I hope y'all enjoyed this little tour of my home studio. I just, again, wanted to show y'all that you don't need a lot of stuff to get the job done. And, hey, if any of you guys wouldn't mind, why don't you post me a photo of your setup. You can either post it to the page or post it into the comments here if you're watching, or if you come back and watch later. Take a little photo of your setup and post it in a comment. I want to see what you guys are working on, and maybe that'll help me, you know, help you with some of the issues you may be having. What's up, Dorje? Thanks for joining, my friend. I appreciate it. Thanks for saying hello. I'm just about to wrap this one up, but once again, make sure you guys go join the Facebook group, Music Producer Community. The link is in the top of the comments there, and I'll approve you as soon as I get to that. I'm going to be there Saturday, and I'm going to be listening to your tracks, so make sure you join that so I can check out your music as well. But once again, you guys, thank y'all for joining. I hope to see some photos of your setups, and I'll be back on Saturday to talk about some more tricks and tips that are going to help you produce better and sound better. So y'all have a great one. I'll see you on Saturday.